So, good evening everybody. Good evening Cheyenne, good evening Left Right, good evening Ramesh and Human, good evening Pedro. 3 p.m. in Brazil, that's a good time. Hi there Beauty, nice to see you my friend. Okay, and hi to Ronan as well, and hi to Roland. It started, yeah, I've just started. So, as I just said to Left or Right, we're going to do some more of this article I've been doing. Yeah, so it's just started. Yeah, in the last 60 seconds or so. So let's see how much of this article we can do today. I think you all know what's happening. What's up, Vitaly? And thank you very much, Alex. That's really kind of you. So yeah, here we go. It's VG. I know Brazil has 3 different time zones. Hi there, Emin. Good to see you as well. I think we're going to have lots of people today. That sounds really good. Okay, so hi Andy. Regards to you in Poland. Regards from here in Spain. So all we have to do is find the right word to fit the gap. Hi Luck. Good to see you. And let me read. It's thought a group of speculating, opportunist, expedient, vulture thieves, focused, aimed, designated, targeted Ms. Wales property after breaking into 3 other addresses in the area on the same afternoon. Okay, let's see. This article's about a week in the life of a murder detective in London, and this Miss Wales, some people broke into her house and she died from the shock. So now we want the answer, so let's see. Vitaly goes for opportunist, Cheyenne goes for opportunist, Ro goes for opportunist. Here, expedient goes count. Opportunist goes human. Vitaly goes for targeted to the second one. No, I'm not well, yeah, I am an opportunist. We're all opportunist. And Left or Right for opportunist and human for targeted. So yeah, Count Beauty's changed his mind from expedient to opportunist. So aim at, okay. Aimed at, sort of. And opportunist from VG. Hi there, Isaac. I think focused is a double S. I have terrible times with double letters and not. Ramesh goes for a vulture. Luck goes for an opportunist. Ronan goes for vulture and targeted. Okay, and then Ranesh goes targeted and Emin goes focused on, and and aim at, but there's no preposition at there, Roland, and you're absolutely right about the preposition. Okay, wow, we got lots of answers here. Ren, that's Pepax. I read earlier. Good to have you. So Ren says targeting for sure. And Joe goes for targeted. Hi there, Beatrice. Okay. Focused and focused are both correct. Thank you very much for that check, VG. Speculating for the first possibility. Okay, so let's get rid of some of these in the first one. Expedient. If something is expedient, it's a good, easy solution. Quick and dirty. An expedient solution. It's the expedient way to stop this activity is to make it illegal. Yeah? Very often it might be expedient for you to try translating into your own language, but it's not a good thing. Speculating. To speculate is when you buy something and hope to sell it for more than you bought it for in the near future. Okay. A vulture, well, firstly, a vulture's a bird, but if you call a person a vulture, they're waiting for somebody who's in a really bad position, in real difficulty, and then they make the most of their opportunity. So here, opportunist. Normally, if we call somebody an opportunist, okay, good evening, Maria. Yes, I remember. So, opportunist, if somebody's an opportunist, they take the opportunity to do something bad. Normally, if you call somebody opportunist, they're waiting for a good moment to steal something or to do something bad. Tourists are culture vultures. Yeah, something can be politically expedient, absolutely. Easy to do. Is an expedient means of transportation. I like that. High vibes. A vulture is also a bird, but it's used with people when they're exploiting or taking advantage. That's good. Yeah. Speculate. Futures trading. I love it, Vitaly. Opportunist should be a noun. Yes, opportunist is a noun. An opportunist. An opportunist, but it's also an adjective. Yeah, it works both ways. Okay, so the right answer for the first one is opportunist. Opportunist. So a sort of group of opportunist thieves. And then focused. What's the preposition with focused? No, okay, Vitaly. So if it's a noun, we've got a noun construction, no S. World Cup matches, not World Cups matches, World Cup matches. Yeah, or if it's an adjective, no S as well. Height alive in the Caribbean. And yeah, locking up a bike even with a small lock prevents opportunism. It prevents opportunists. Okay, so focused on. Thank you, Human. Thank you, Roland. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Vitaly. Focus on, focus upon. There's no on here. Aimed. Roland said this before. At. So it can't be either. Designated. So to designate, they thought about it before. A designated driver, a chosen driver. To designate, this is for you. But here, absolutely, VG. So it's got to be targeted. To target doesn't take a preposition. Yeah, absolutely, vibes. Focused on, aimed at. Designated doesn't really have the right meaning. And targeted, definitely. So to target is to choose something as your objective. Yeah, particularly when you're going to attack it, and particularly for a robbery or something like that. He was designated as minister. Good, Roland. Okay, Beatrice, well done. Hello. So, yeah, now we'll come on to the next one. Goody, goody. Together with colleagues from Scotland Yard, I've watched that series as well, Designated Survivor. It means he was chosen to survive before the explosion. Targeted, which is transitive, good vibes. No preposition with dedicated, VG. To designate someone, to designate something. Yeah, a politician who's an opportunist will seize every opportunity for a bribe. It works beautifully, Pepax Oren. So where's Stimpy? Wow, thank you, Manji. That's incredibly kind of you. Good evening as well. I haven't seen you comment yet. Thank you, Manji. Wow. So, let's see. Count Beauty goes for arranges a briefing. Various people say arranges. Together with colleagues from Scotland Yard's Press Bureau, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh prepares statements for the media and arranges, orders, arrays, settles a briefing for broadcasters for the next day. He's home by 8:30 but spends a couple more hours on calls. Thank you again, Manji. Wow. Okay, so everybody's going for arrange. So to order, you order your food from the takeaway. Yeah. Yes, that's it, Maria. Arranges. Yeah. Okay, so you order. To order something, you order it. Maybe you order something in internet. To array is to set out so that everybody can see it. So the vendor arrayed all of his goods on a table. In the market, everything is arrayed for you to be able to see it. To settle an argument. Yeah? No way. It's got to be to arranges. So, ARRANGES. Arranges a briefing for broadcasters for the next day. He's home by 8:30 but spends a couple more hours on calls. Yeah, so, good evening, Maria Mikkonen as well. So we've got two Marias now. To settle an argument. Yes, to settle a debt. No, you're not very late today, Manji. Okay, so the other Maria goes arranges. Arrays of flowers. He arrays the flowers. In a flower shop, they array the flowers. To array is to put out on show so that people can see it. Normally it's flower arranging. Okay. So to settle a debate. He could order a meeting in an emergency. Yes, well that would be give orders. So good evening, Tareen House. You're not so late. So let's continue. Yeah, I ought to get up the next one, shouldn't I? That's really what I need to do. Okay, this is now Friday. Settle a conflict, absolutely. To arrange a party, yes. To arrange a party, although I like the verb to hold, I would suggest all of you, array is to lay out, yes. To hold a party, to hold a conference, to hold a football match, to hold a meeting. I would suggest all of you try using hold more. Yeah, so, and I've been giving you the answer, haven't I? Up at 6 a.m, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh decides to change the venue, the place where it's going to be held, of the press briefing. It was to be held, kept, done, put, outside Miss Wales' house in Barnet, but it's switched to New Scotland Yard in Westminster because it's pouring with rain. Even the dog didn't want to go out this morning. It was raining so heavy, he says. So, good evening, so funny. To hold an audition, to hold an auction. And here all of you are going... Array is like to align. Yes. To array is to put everything out so people can see it. Okay, to hold an Olympics. I love it. Yeah. Japan held the last Olympics. Okay, that's really good. So all of you are going for held, and I really like it. So what's the second best answer? And there's a second one that would fit, but it's not as good as held. And also, while you're about it, you beat me to the question. Exactly English vibes. It absolutely should be heavily Manji. This tells, so notice this is in inverted commas vibes, and this tells us that he's actually not a very educated bloke. Yeah, his English isn't very good. So I think instead of saying even the dog didn't want to go out this morning, it was raining so heavily. But he says this in Cockney. Yes, done, exactly. Done is the other one. Done would fit, but it's not as good. To do it, you do something. So this guy, I would say, he says this in a Chow accent. Even a dog didn't want to go out this morning. It was raining so heavy, he says. Yeah, done second best, absolutely. Not kept, done. So, as Vibe said, heavily. That's much better. No, so first answer held, second answer done. Yeah, he did the press briefing. Yeah, so to do is to do an activity, and here he's doing the press briefing. It was raining so heavy. Yeah, Chad accent drops the so heavy, so it drops the H. It's colloquial and bad English vibes. It's just wrong. Yeah, don't do that in your exams, and don't use it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. In this last bit, he says this is the detective chief inspector talking, and Vibes pointed out that he said it was raining so heavy. But heavy is wrong, it's bad English. It's called historical present, absolutely. Yeah, so, he says it was raining so heavy. This is bad English. This tells you about the person he is, yeah? And it should say heavily. Okay, yes, this is a historical present, yeah? He decides to do this, but it's talking about the past. But it is switched. It's like a narrative, but in the past. And that's the idea. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next one. Yeah, it was raining so heavily, as opposed to heavily. You drop H's. Okay, so here we go. I can't do a gangster accent. Gangster's not easy for me. Huh. Yep, by newspapers, absolutely. Flat adverb, not good. Yes, but not only that, he should have used an adverb and he didn't. Yep, it's very hard to translate them. I quite agree. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Ronan. So, heavy would be bang on in American English. I would never say it. It sounds horrible to me. So, he arrives at the yard, Scotland Yard, by 10:30 to be given some terrible news about a earlier, quondam former colleague on the murder team who's been told he has terminal cancer. Bang on, exactly right. VG, that's bang on. So it's bang on 8:17 here. Okay, so former girlfriend, ex. Let's see, definitely former is the right answer. So it's raining hard. I don't think there's any difference. But notice hard is both an adverb and an adjective. He works hard. He does hard work. So everybody's going for former. I like your question, Roland. So what does quondam mean? What does quondam mean? Bang on, spot on, exactly right. No, you can definitely use... Yeah, what is quondam? Does anybody know quondam? But real good and real quick is bad English, Vitaly. Really good, really quickly. Ex-colleague. So, quondam means former. So quondam would fit. The problem is quondam is terribly formal. Yeah, quotidian, every day. Yeah, quondam, former, previous. Yeah, I got a good video about former and quondam and erstwhile as well. Yeah, it's a rare word. It's a very formal word. Yeah, look, have a look for my video on it. I will you will find erstwhile, exactly, Human. Hard means tough, yes. Erstwhile, exactly, Mlem. So quondam is 8 for formality, absolutely. Former is a 5, use it anywhere. I guess you could use a previous colleague as well, but former's a much better word. I think earlier talks more about time. Okay, so we shall continue. In an earlier time, before the present time, or in the past. Previous, earlier, and former. So former was used to be, had the position of. Previous, just in the past, and I don't really like early. Yeah, so the previous day, not the former day. Yeah, in his previous job, in his former job. Here they work very, very well together. Ooh, the next one's difficult. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh is clearly rattled, flustered, shaken, undermined, as he does interviews with reporters in which he appeals for information about jewellery stolen by the burglary gang. So here, this means upset because of the news about his former colleague, or his quondam colleague. So we got different answers. Count Beauty and Vitali goes for, and Cheyenne goes for rattled. Mammy goes for shaken. Mlem goes for shaken. Rattled, disconcerted, but flustered has a similar meaning. Yes, but one is more serious than another, and there is a clear difference between rattled and flustered vibe. Well, try them, you'll love them. It depends on context and collocation. Ronan goes for shaken, Beatrice goes for shaken, Maria goes for rattled, Tareen goes for rattled, Roland goes for rattled, Ranish goes for shaken, Manji goes for rattled. I love it. I love this one. And Abira goes for flustered. Rattle like a snake. Haha, yes, you're right. Okay, let me look at these. So to undermine doesn't fit. So to undermine somebody's authority. Maybe if you're trying to attack a city and you want the wall to fall down, you undermine it. You make a mine or a hole underneath and the wall falls down. Very often you can undermine somebody's authority. Yeah? So the boss undermined my authority by countermanding my decision. Okay. Flustered, shaken, rattled. I think all of these fit. Okay, let's see. I think rattled is not right because normally you're rattled when you're in a difficult situation. I wouldn't use rattled for upset. And clearly the McHugh is upset. The suspect was rattled when the police showed him the evidence that they had. The team were rattled when the opposition scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. So if you're rattled, you're worried and upset about a situation that's difficult. Yeah, if you're rattled, things aren't going as you planned. Yeah, the situation is difficult or dangerous. If you're flustered, you just don't know what to do. So if you're a very nervous person, he's flustered very easily. He was unnerved. That's a good word, Leah, very definitely. He was perturbed. That sounds very good as well. Rattled, unnerved, loses confidence. Okay, so if somebody's flustered, he might be flustered, but I think the best word here is is going to be shaken. Okay. So if you're shaken, you're emotionally upset. I was shaken by the bad news. I'm sure his colleague was shaken when he discovered that he had got cancer. So shaken is the best. Absolutely, VG. And let me put it here. Shaken. Let me go through this again. Whoops. Sorry, undermine. That's it. The stream. I will carry on maybe 45 minutes to an hour, Ramesh. I'm not certain. Okay. To rattle. It's probably a little bit informal as well, but it's not a good verb. You're rattled because things are not going according to your plan. The soldiers were rattled when the enemy started firing. Yeah, I was flustered because I had so many people to deal with at the same time. To undermine somebody's authority, to take away somebody's authority. Inflation undermines the buying power of consumers. Yeah, it takes away from it. Yeah, very good, Maria Mikkonen. Shaken, yes, his voice is shaky. That's very good vibes. Flustered is more worried and nervous and not knowing what to do. If you're flustered, you're probably panicking. If you're rattled, you're panicking inside, but you are maintaining a calm. If you're shaken, this is an emotional effect. No, so notice, Taryn, I was flustered by seeing the lizard on the wall. Yeah. To rattle, I would probably give to rattle a 4.5 informality. I wouldn't use it in a very formal thing, but I might use it in a semi-formal context. Overwhelmed, flustered. Okay, if you're overwhelmed, you might become flustered. Yes, overwhelmed by the situation. Yeah, but you wouldn't be rattled or shaken. Normally, you're shaken with bad news, and you're rattled when you're in trouble or things don't go according to plan. That's been a very good one. I love it. I really like it. Ha, and the next one's quite good as well. Yeah. So yeah, overwhelmed is kind of flustered. Yeah, overwhelmed, in a panic. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He's so flustered. Don't get flustered. Calm down. But if somebody's rattled, they're rattled by a situation. Yeah, and they're shaken by bad news or something that upsets them. He was shaken when his wife left him, for example. So the next one I love. Okay, wait a second. The media briefing contains some details he doesn't want publicised. His focus is on getting information into the public domain that will trigger a memory or even poke, prick, needle, stab someone's conscience. So Victor Gabriel, no we don't. In the UK it's very unusual to see lizards, and therefore English language with lizards is very unusual. So we've got a load of different answers here. Roland says poke, Vibes goes for stab, Beauty goes for poke, Ramesh goes for stab, Ant Under the Roof goes for a poke, VG goes for poke, Ramesh is guessing, Human goes for poke, Leferite goes for stab, Ramesh goes for stab, Maria goes for poke, Manji goes for poke or prick, Ronan goes for needle. Needle is a very good word, by the way, Ronan. And that should, and as I've just said, that should tell you the answer. So Tareen says poke, Human says poke for sure, and Manny goes for stab. So geckos, but a gecko can be quite big as well. Maria goes for poke. So first thing to tell you, poke is the wrong answer. Yeah, this is a collocation to one of these three, someone's conscience. Hi, I mean, it's not poke. No, it's not poke. Let's see, to poke somebody, I poked him with a stick. I poked him with my finger. Left or right, thank you. So the first one to talk about prick was Manji. I am certain of it. Good to have you here, Thunder. So to prick somebody's conscience, you prick somebody's conscience. Who was it who said needle their conscience? Poke, no. To poke is to push, to remind. Yeah? Needle someone's conscience. To needle is to try to upset somebody. So maybe if you're playing a competition, you needle the opposition. You tell them straight things to make them angry. I didn't find yours, Vitali. I did not find yours. Let's see. The last one I've got from you, Vitali, is rattled equals unnerved. So it didn't. Either YouTube didn't send it. Well done, Manji. Well done, Manji. This is a collocation, to prick somebody's conscience. To needle is to try to upset somebody by saying nasty things in order to fluster them. Yeah, in order to rattle them. And stab, stab with a knife. So prick. To prick somebody's conscience. That's why I use the word needle. Okay, is your conscience pricking you? Do you think you shouldn't have done that? It's definitely prick. Yeah, the prick of conscience. 100 years of solitude. Yep, that's very good. Stab doesn't sound right. But it had a very good figurative sense. I'm sorry, Vitaly, if I'd seen if it had been there, I would have said it. Okay, YouTube must have removed it. It's very possible, actually. They're capable of doing stuff like that. To puncture, no, you can't use to puncture. It's to prick somebody's conscience. To raise awareness, absolutely, ant under the roof. To prick someone's conscience, to make somebody feel guilty. That's the idea. Oh, and the next one I really, really, really like as well. The appeal gets a conversation going and generates a positive response, he says. As a result, several witnesses are trailed, tracked, traced, tailed, and various names put forward as possible subjects. This is a really good question. I love these 4 verbs. These 4 verbs are very difficult to differentiate for students. Okay, so Count Beauty goes for traced. A kind of remorse, absolutely, Alex. Abira goes for tracked. Ramesh goes for tracked. Okay, the same happened to you live. Music, Vitas. To needle someone's patience. No, you just needle somebody. You wouldn't needle their patience. When you needle someone, you try and get them to lose patience. So Tareen goes for traced. Roland goes for traced. Vitaly goes for tracked. Leferite goes for tracked. Ronan goes for traced. Ant goes for tracked, Mammy goes for traced, Human goes for traced, and Live goes for traced. What is the preposition with tracked? Tracked. You need a preposition with tracked. Thank you very much, Alex. That's very good. To track down. Several witnesses are tracked down and various names are put forward. It can't be tracked. To trail is to either drag behind or to follow somebody. So the police trailed the suspect until he got to his hideout. To trail, yeah, or the long dress trailed through the mud, yeah. So to trail someone or to tail somebody also means to follow. Yeah, it's got to be to trace. To trace is to do research to find out the origin of something. So the cyber police traced the hacker's IP number. Tracked would work if there was a down, exactly. To track is to follow the movement of something. You get a tracking number, yeah, which tracks, which follows the movement of your parcel, so you can track it down, locate the exact position of something, yeah. So to track down is to find exactly where something is. To track is to follow it from a remote position. For example, air traffic controllers use radar to track the movement of aeroplanes. Yeah? To trail, to drag behind. Yes, this is definitely traced. Trace down. You could say trace down. Trace down are traced down. But notice left or right, it's not necessarily the down with traced, but it is with tracked. Are traced. I think track down, locate exactly. Trace, to find the origin of. Tracking, following footprints, yes. And maybe you're trailing or tailing a suspect, yeah. Okay, so can you go and tackle John for me? Absolutely, that would work as well. So this is a good one. Or a lost cat can be tracked. Well, if you already know where it is, you track it. Otherwise, if you don't know where it is, you have to trace it. If you can see it, you tail it or trail it until you can catch it. Yeah. Okay, yes. So that he traced his lost package. He discovered where it was. Yeah. You use the tracking to track down your package and trace exactly where it is. From beginning to finish, to track a parcel, Maria Mikkonen. Yeah, that's just to track. You track it down, you know exactly where it is. So this is traced, to trace. Yeah, when you don't know something. I traced some ancestors who I had never met before. Yep, these are hard words, Ant Under the Roof. This is a C2 plus exercise. This is a definite C2 exercise. So, very advanced. At 1 o'clock, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh leaves for the Old Bailey, the High Court. Actually, no, the Lords is the highest court, but this is the second one. To meet the family of Mohammed Adam Mohammed, a 20-year-old stabbed to death in the back with a 12-inch, that's about 30 centimetres, wow, carving, cutting, slicing, chopping knife after a confrontation in the street in Camden, North London in September 2017. So C2, it means very advanced. So left or right, there are various different levels. A1 and A2 are beginners. B1 and B2 are intermediates. C1 is advanced and C2 is very advanced. It's like it's like a native speaker. Yeah, that's very good. So Vitaly goes for chopping. Cheyenne goes for carving. Shape, to copy out a shape, yes, vibes. Ramesh goes for carving. Malem goes for carving. Ronan goes for chopping. Count goes for slicing. Beatrice goes for chopping. Tareen goes for chopping. Leferite goes for carving. Roland goes for carving. Hadi, good evening Hadi, goes for carving. Okay, I like your definition, Leah. A carving knife, a knife with a long blade used for carving meat into slices. And Human goes for carving. So he was stabbed. Yeah, stabbed is the point. Yeah. So look at this. Look at chopping. What is to chop? Okay, to chop is to. Yeah, I've got to chop it. What? Sorry about that. So to chop. This is a chopper. You use this to chop with. Here. Okay, this is to chop with. So you can't stab somebody with this. This is a chopper. Also, I wouldn't say a carving knife. I would say CHOPPING. Okay, so they carved their names on the tree. Chop the onions. Chop a tree. Yeah, this is a chopper. It can't be chop. It can't be that one. A chopping board. A slicing knife. A slicing knife is to cut thin slices of tomato or thin slices of hair. Get to the chopper. Oh my god, yeah. You see the things I've got in my room? Yes, careful not to chop your hands off. A chopper's a bike too. High handlebars, low front wheel. Yeah, it can also be a motorbike. He chopped down the tree. So you're all going to remember chop now, aren't you? Good. Okay, a cutting knife. Well, all knives are for cutting just about, so it's superfluous. And a slicing knife, no, it's a carving knife. A carving knife's a great big knife. Yeah, a carving knife. To carve, to cut into shapes. Michelangelo carved the statue of David. Is scratching your eardrums. No, thank you very much. It's very constructive criticism. It's easy for me to turn it down. And so, how about that, Danielle? Is that better for you? You can stab someone with a carving knife. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Danielle. Is that better now? Yeah, no, constructive criticism is the greatest thing in the world. Criticism is an opportunity to learn. So, yeah, he had a knife for meat, yes. You can definitely, to carve out a niche, yeah, you can definitely carve out a niche in a business. Okay, good, Danielle. Danielle, if there's ever any problem, if it's too loud or too soft or you can't see, tell me, because it's easy for me to change it. Okay, so a carving knife, definitely. Okay, so to carve wood. And in a second we will get the next one as well. Here. Okay, get to chop, to cut into pieces. Chop up exists. The up is only emphasis. I chopped the meat. I chopped up the meat. Same meaning. Up is just adding emphasis. Stab is the key word here. Absolutely, Vitaly. Okay. The attack was witnessed by Sergeant Matthew Ebbs, who was working in civilian, ordinary, plain, normal clothes, aiming at drug dealers. He confronted the knife man who ran away. Who ran at the officer. He charged at him directly towards the officer before running away, throwing his weapon away onto the railway tracks. So, this is very definitely a collocation. So is it civilian clothes, ordinary clothes, plain clothes, or normal clothes? They would all fit. They all fit. But this is a collocation. A policeman is wearing clothes. So let's see. Ramesh goes. Okay, Vitaly goes for plain. Ramesh goes for plain. Roland goes for civilian. Chop my money. This sounds pretty informal, Beatrice. Cheyenne goes for plain. Manji goes for plain. Okay, so I'm going to put you all out of your misery with this one. The collocation is plain clothes. A plain-clothed policeman. This is somebody who's wearing normal, ordinary civilian clothes. They're not wearing their uniform. Yeah, this is an undercover detective. Plain clothes. Plain is the correct UK term. Yeah? Ordinary, regular. Well, he is wearing ordinary clothes, not his special uniform. Yeah? Plain, ordinary. Yes. Ordinary is plain. He has a very plain face. Or plain crisps. These are crisps just with salt. Okay? So, plain clothes. A plain-clothes police officer. And we'll come to another one. Plain makes sense. Absolutely. It's a plain-clothes policeman. He's wearing plain clothes. Okay, we got the next one yet? Not quite. Okay. It'll come up any second now. Here it comes. Okay, that's good. Sergeant Ebbs arrested the suspect after he tumbled, skidded, blundered, tripped, and fell, and managed to detain him with the help of a cyclist. This one's easy. As opposed to a uniform, absolutely, Vitaly. So, VG goes tripped, Cheyenne goes tripped. Count Beauty goes for tumbled. That's interesting. Ramesh goes for tripped. I think probably they all fit, but one of them is much better than the others. Yeah, so nearly all of you are going for tripped. The two ands. Okay, and. Okay, so tripped. Yes, this one is absolutely, he tripped. He tumbled. To tumble is to fall. So he fell. He tumbled and fell. To tumble and fall. When the night comes, should tumble and fall. I'm trying to Stand By Me. Tumble. To tumble and fall. It's in the song Stand By Me. It would work. To skid is to slide because you don't have friction or grip. So the car skidded. To blunder. To blunder is normally to make a mistake. So he did make a mistake and fall, but the best answer is tripped. Yeah, absolutely. That's really good vibes. I love it. A tumble dryer. That's a good one as well. Hi, Said. So skidded may need an adverb. He skidded on the ice. Tumble is more when falling down. Good. And blundered is clumsy. I love that. I love that definition of the three vibes. That's really good. Plain is not decorated in any special way because he was undercover. Yeah, it means civilian clothes, but the answer is plain clothes. Yeah, he tripped up. Absolutely. He tripped over something. After he took a tumble, that's good left or right. Skid to a halt. Melem goes for tripped as well. To blunder, to make a serious mistake. I blundered into the room. He was blundering about. Okay, to trip someone up. A rock tripped him up. Or in this case, just he tripped up and fell. The up again is talking about completely. I think it's just adding emphasis. Okay, to slip. He slipped and fell. Yeah, maybe the surface wasn't very... he didn't have good... His feet didn't have a good grip. Yeah, so that's very good. He took a tumble. I love this. Okay, so he tripped up. A blunder is also a term in chess. Is to make a terrible mistake. Yeah, is to put your queen in front of a pawn vibes. Trip, trip over, fall over. So if you trip, something is in the way of your foot. Yeah, but you may not hit the ground. To trip over, you trip over something. Again, you may not fall to the ground. To fall over definitely means you fall to the ground, but maybe you didn't trip over anything. Yeah. He drank so much alcohol that he fell over, but he didn't trip over anything. Okay. Trip and fall to the side. Yeah, for example, I'm skidding on the slide in the garden. Yeah, that would do. Although I'm skidding on the ice is probably better. Okay, I need to read this one. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh's team are investigating the murder, and the trial is at a soft, delicate, fragile, brittle stage. So Mr. Mohammed's family need as much support as they can get. So we've got delicate from Ramesh, delicate from Vitalier, delicate from Human. Incipient. Could be, but here it's easily broken, easily problems. He blundered his queen. I think he probably blundered with his queen. So, delicate from Cheyenne, delicate from Abira, delicate stage. Fragile stage. Okay, so, a soft stage from Ant. Okay, so, AN goes for fragile. Let's see, I think fragile is more to do with things that breaks, but it's at a fragile stage. It could work. It's at a delicate stage. This is the right answer. A delicate stage. Soft doesn't work. If something's soft, it's not hard. Yeah? It's at a fragile stage, maybe just. And what about brittle? What about brittle? What does brittle mean? So, know thee, Roland. Democratic values are delicate. Unbridled ambition, Alex. Unbridled. That's different. Brittle. So what does this brittle mean? Well, this is the BBC, and there are I find mistakes in it from time to time. Fragile. That's it, VG. Brittle bones. That's very good, Lafayette. Brittle glass. Brittle confidence. Brittle, infrangible, easily broken. Something that is brittle shatters easily. It breaks into small pieces. Yeah. So, for example, caramel, when it's solidified, it's quite brittle. Something that breaks easily. Brittle bone disease, osteoporosis. Yeah, the bones are brittle and break easily. Okay, so yes, that's it. Brittle. Okay, so brittle, to break easily. Absolutely, IN. His confidence was very brittle, and he was easily shaken. He was easily rattled. Okay, so a brittle laugh. That's to do with a sound. That's quite a sophisticated use, Roland. Okay, so in this one, it's at a delicate stage. It's at, not at a brittle stage, but a fragile stage, I think, would do. Okay, let's try this next one then. He says Mr. Mohammed, who was a much-loved son, whose death had left his dignified and supported relatives, devastated, heartbroken, demolished, distressed. His brother had been fatally stabbed earlier that year, though the details of what happened can't be reported for legal reasons. So brittle, I love that, Malem. Hard, but easy to break. Yeah. For example, iron. Pure iron is very brittle, not elastic. It breaks, it shatters easily. Something that's brittle shatters. So we got almost everybody going for devastated. Okay, this is an interesting one. So notice this word shaken. Shaken might work quite well as well. Okay, I think there are two good words here. To demolish is to break down. No, the building was demolished. We demolished the opposition in the match. Distressed. This is not strong enough. I was distressed when some bad things happened to me, but these are much stronger. So my first choice is devastated. Whoops. No. But also heartbroken would fit as well. Yeah. So it's devastated or heartbroken. To demolish, to tear down. The death of his mother devastated him for weeks, VG. Okay, so yeah, heartbroken works, Maha, but devastated is better. If you're heartbroken, you're really upset. If you're devastated, you're really upset. Let's see. The city was devastated by the tidal wave. The devastation caused by the earthquake was very serious. If you're devastated, you're really, really, really upset about something. And heartbroken is a good synonym for devastated. Okay? Yes, VG was heartbroken when the stream ended. I love it, left or right. Okay, so please don't be heartbroken when we finish. It's going to... Distressed is when you're worried about the future or the past. If you're devastated, it's normally something that's already happened. If you're heartbroken, it's about something that has happened. If you're distressed, it's about an ongoing situation, and distress talks about the future. But distressed is not as strong as devastated or heartbroken. Devastated and heartbroken are 10. Yeah, he was absolutely heartbroken. He was absolutely devastated. But notice, he was very distressed. So distressed is one of these gradables. Yeah, he was a bit distressed. He was a bit devastated. No way. He was totally devastated. Yeah, he was totally heartbroken. These are extremes. Devastation sounds deeper. I was absolutely devastated. Don't remind him to finish. Yeah, I was absolutely devastated at the news. Okay, so let's do one more, and then I'm going to stop. The two are more serious and radical. Yes, devastated and heartbroken are more radical than distressed. Absolutely devastated, absolutely heartbroken, but very distressed. It's a good difference in it. Good way to show you the difference between the two. Okay, last one is easy as well. They are a remarkable family who have lost 2 sons to blade, knife, dagger, stiletto crime in 6 months, and a cousin 5 years ago. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh says he'd had to cancel the meeting with Mr. Mohammed's relatives 2 days earlier because of the Barnet case. I felt awful, he said. So, Vitaly goes for knife, Count goes for knife, Ramesh goes for blade or knife, Human goes for knife, Cheyenne goes for stiletto, Roland says knife crime, Maria says knife, Ramesh says knife, VG goes knife crime, Malem goes knife crime, Leferite goes knife crime, knife as well, Maria Mikkonen goes knife crime, and Ian goes for dagger, Mahar goes for dagger, poor family, yes, 3 people killed, that's horrible, and Ant Under the Roof goes for knife. Okay, so blade crime, I don't like blade at all, although because other things can have a blade apart from a knife. Notice a dagger and a stiletto. This implies that crimes where somebody has been stabbed. But here the right answer is knife, because knife is a more general word. A dagger is a type of knife, a stiletto is a type of knife, but a carving knife is a type of knife, and therefore it's knife crime. Yes, knife crime is genericism, the others are too specific. Absolutely, vibes. Okay, so knife crime, absolutely, it's knife crime. Yeah, a dagger crime would be more specific. Stiletto crime, because you could cut somebody's throat and that would be knife crime as well. Yeah, and I wouldn't use blade crime. It's definitely knife crime. So we've done our hour. And knife used to be dagger in the 80s. Okay, so enough for today. Thank you all for coming. You've been a wonderful group. We've had a great session. A particular thanks to Manji for her generous donation. I'll be back again next week, and with and maybe, you never know, I might have an impromptu one in between. I will be carrying on with this this article. It's a very good article, and like that you get to learn lots of vocabulary and difficult words. This is the link to the original article, which is why I put it, and I will see you all next week. So I hope you all stay safe, look after yourselves. That was very good work indeed by all of you, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.